December 31st already. What's next? Is it February? September, October, November, December, January 1st. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna cut straight to the point. I don't enjoy life 99.9% of the time. Now, I know this is kind of a baffling line to hear upon clicking upon some random video, but it's true. It's true, and I'm not going to try to hide it. So today we're going to be trying to change that. I have a list right here of things, a list of things that happy people that do fun things like to do. And we are going to be systematically going through all these and doing our best to go through all of them and make this the best New Year's Eve party I've had all year. Now, I'm actually quite fond of lists. I don't know how many of you are into to-do lists like I am, but I am quite fond of them. Normally, they're not this interesting, more like, clean, wash towels, water plants. Hold on, let me show you. Yeah, not terribly interesting. So I've created a list of some fun things to do. We can see what we have on here. Make resolutions, fine dining, have dessert, do something fun, do something else fun, party, squiggly line, 3 exclamation marks, talk to friends, work on a video, attend events. So I guess we can start with the resolutions? I mean, that's the tradition after all. Resolutions are interesting because they highlight the classic internal conflict of harmfully high expectations of oneself versus what is actually feasible for humans to do. I typically fall into harmfully high expectations of myself, and I've let myself down quite a lot in the past because of this. However, I am still going to be setting unrealistically high goals for myself, since I think this time I can definitely pull them off if I believe in myself hard enough. I do take this seriously, so we're also going to be doing SMART goals. If you're not sure what that means, consult the center of your screen as of right now. I mean, these all seem plausible enough. Now what? Well, seeing as make a bunch of videos is the first thing on the list, I figured that's a good place to start. Making videos is a funny thing in my world, because I'll practically do no work on any projects for a week, then do 9 hours a day for 3 days straight and finish one in that time period. Fun fact, I started working on this video on the 19th or so, but only finished a third of the script in a single segment until the 28th, when I then started putting a lot of work into it, and then even then I'm only getting started assembling it and voicing it now on the 30th. So I guess we could do a little behind the scenes stuff. I promise this won't take too long. So I wish I could say that I have a process. Well, I do. It's just a remarkably disjointed and inconsistent one. But it all starts with a script, kind of like this one. And I don't know how many of you write things, especially for videos, but these can get massive. The second largest script right here, the neon white video. One thing I really like is that you can see that I try to keep lines to a certain length so it doesn't look like the entire screen or so is full of text. But that line gradually goes further and further and further out. Also, fun fact, everything past the first 130 lines of the script were written in a single day, and I think it took about 8 hours? And the video with the absurdly long title, I'm not going to say all of, also had a similar process of procrastination, hesitation, and then a mad dash near the end to try and get it over with. Kind of like giving birth. Either way, it's extraordinarily intimidating to start voicing one of these, and I sometimes feel like passing out just by scrolling through everything I need to read, though that might also be my low blood sugar. Also, fun fact, I suck at voicing things. But the great part about this is that none of it is live and you can fake it all, and boy do I love bullshitting things here. I struggle with reading scripts, a lot in fact. There are some lines that I'll mess up 7 or so times in a row, and roughly 1/3 of every recorded minute of voiceover per video is a line that I messed up and had to take out or otherwise screwed up. I think the most memorable instance of this happening in my entire video making history is this one line in the Half-Life 2 video that I spent over 30 seconds failing to say correctly in a row. If we extend the cut line to hear all the flubbed takes, you can imagine just how embarrassing this would be for me in the moment. Not much of interest goes on for a while until you make it to this one section with a massive crane and a few warehouses. You have to pick up the buggy with the magnet and very jankily raise it up. You have to pick up your buggy with the magnet. You have to pick up your buggy with the crane magnet. You have to pick up your buggy with the crane magnet and very jankily raise it to the... You have to pick up your buggy and very jankily... You have to pick up your buggy with the crane magnet and very... I can't say that. Whatever. You have to pick up your buggy with the crane magnet and very jankily raise it up to the next set of the site. You have to pick up the buggy with your crane magnet and very jankily raise it up with the rest of the site. You have to pick up the buggy with the magnet and very... You have to pick up the buggy with the crane magnet and very jankily raise it up to the rest of the site. So what I do is record each line with a space in between, then cut out all the dead air between each phrase. This can actually be pretty bad at times due to some unnaturally small pauses that would be much larger in real natural speech, leading to it sounding kind of rushed and frantic. Speaking about both bullshittery and amateurish mistakes, I'd like to take a moment to talk about my first ever video. It was pretty neat and funny, but a complete failure on a technical level. There were a bunch of incredibly specific things I wrote in the script that I had to completely orchestrate through the game's mechanics and developer features, like trucking up NPCs with a bunch of buffs to have them instantly kill me for comedic effect, or giving myself specific items to record things that I forgot to capture earlier when I was writing the script based off those things in the first place. Now, it's also noticeable for having the most drawn segments out of every single video I've ever made, and most of these look like dog shit. Another fun fact, every single animated segment I have ever made for any of my videos was made in paint.net. If we look at the source files, we can see that I draw the background and any props, then draw each frame of animation in a new layer over the last. Then they're all upscaled 1000% from 192 pixels by 108 to standard HD 1080p and exported as single images put into a video sequence and with sound effects added. You might also be thinking, wow, your art style, if you can even call it that, is incredibly inconsistent. And yeah, I hate to break it to you, but I'm actually kind of a hack fraud. You know, see this scene? Ooh, wow. Yeah, 90% of these earlier scenes were completely traced off of 3D models I had posed in Gary's mod for reference. Honestly, this was much more time-consuming than just actually drawing them. And they looked like shit anyways! Seriously, pose the scene, scale it down, outline the characters, color in each frame, shade it, do the backgrounds, and it still looked worse. I've moved on from this quite frankly terrible process to just actually trying things, and wow, it looks a lot better, honestly. One last thing, I ended up taking this video down because the audio mixing was unbelievably bad. A few months later, I made a quote-unquote fixed version. I ended up taking this version down as well because it had, among other things, improperly timed audio, broken animated scenes, flickering screens at points, and my personal favorite, a 3-second span of video which simply said, "Cut this out, fucker," in bold text on a bright red background. Absolutely fantastic. Anyways, that went on too long. I'll consider that doing video work, you know, like a study of sorts of my past works. It's too early in the evening to do dinner or dessert, so we're gonna jump to doing something fun. I actually set aside something special for tonight. There's this game my friends have been telling me to go check out for a while called Kaiju... Okay, hold on. I forgot I needed my phone for this. Another thing I forgot. I have an app on my phone called AppBlock that I use to block distractive things when I'm working on videos, and I have disabled Steam and YouTube and Discord for the next 3 hours. So we're gonna find something else fun to do. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but there are actually a lot of fun things you can do on the internet for free, so I think we're just gonna check some of those out instead. So I have a few friends that are kind of into Wordle. That's too mainstream for me though, and that's kind of why I play Letroso. It's kind of like Wordle if it were more upfront about being designed by people that get off to the suffering of others. Now, what's interesting about this is that the word length is random and capped at 10. So it won't show you the exact placement of the letters you potentially get right, and there's no time or turn limit. So you can spend an hour on this if you're trying to get it right in a really small amount of turns. I had the script written where I was talking about how difficult it was. I was not expecting to get it in 3 guesses. I guess I'm just a genius. Now, I've spent upwards of half an hour on Wordle sometimes, so this isn't a new thing to me, but I enjoy the new angle of suffering that the potentially unlimited game time adds in here. In Wordle, if you get sick of it halfway through, you can just do what I like to call the penis forfeit to get it out of the way. You can't take that easy way out here. No matter how many penises you type, the game won't let you go. I mean, it can get pretty bad, but it rarely goes into December 19th, 2025 territory. See, and while that's cool, what I really like is EthnoGuessr. It's kind of like GeoGuessr, except instead of giving you an image of a random place on Earth and having you pinpoint that location on a map, it gives you a computer-generated image of someone of a specific genetic makeup related to a certain location that you need to pinpoint instead. I'd like to recommend sending this one to your friends if you'd like to make them look culturally insensitive, or if they're the type of people you could say the phrase anthropology to and get a response like, "Does that have something to do with furries?" from? Another hobby of mine is going to SteamDB, that's short for Steam Database, by the way, each morning and viewing every single new game that gets added to the store. See, I'm always looking for new and interesting things to cover, so this is how I just stay up to date and make sure I'll be the first to showcase anything fantastic or something really cool should it pop up. It doesn't take too long, and it takes an even shorter amount of time if you skip over all the pornographic games like I do. Side note, if you ever want a fun drinking game, just load up the recent tab on SteamDB and take every shot every time you see a pornographic piece of media. Except don't, you'll die. Like, is anybody here a fan of Hentai Pair? They seem to have made, oh, I don't know, like 200 new DLCs you can check out if you'd like in the past 2 minutes. Regardless, but I've certainly found some interesting things through this. Note that interesting doesn't mean good. A lot of these aren't good, but some are cool. You know, I can show you some. Basically, everything I find interesting goes into a folder called Games of Note, which contains games of note. Some of these I plan to cover, others I won't, but they're all fascinating at the very least. I mean, I can show you some of these from the stranger ones I found right now, I suppose. This one I just have saved as dog shit. Oh yeah! This one is literally... None of... There is no actual imagery of this game. It is just a bunch of AI-generated fucking Studio Ghibli-style trailers. Nothing about this is real. There is no proof that there is any video game on here at all. And it's funny because it has a whole synopsis, but they don't have anything to show for it. This is literally just a concept. You can read some of these, it sounds interesting. And I say sounds because I doubt that any of this even exists at all. I'm pretty sure this even violates the Steam Terms of Service, as there's literally nothing depicting the game at all here. They didn't even fucking pay for the premium version. That's the funny part, it still has... it still has the watermark. Oh, check this out, they have another game called Frop, and the trailer for this one is worse. Because the trailer is literally just a still image with more AI-generated rock. Boy, get a load of this, so watch out folks, this one has E10 fantasy violence. Which I'll give them credit, they actually have images for this one. Maybe if they, I don't know, started with that, it would have filled the buyer with more confidence. I found this one. This is a anime-styled visual novel dating sim based on smuggling weapons in the American Revolutionary War. And you can date embodiments of states, which is a really fascinating concept to me. Do I have anything else to say about that? I guess not. Oh, wait! I need to find the one. I need to find the one I saved a long time ago. Oh, here we go. Do you guys like janky Unreal Engine 5 titles? Here we go. Mr. Jones, Retribution, the city will bleed for his family. Oh yeah. Doesn't this just look fantastic? You can see fantastic visuals really making the most out of the Unreal Engine 5 engine. Oh, I had one last one. AIPI. I'm sure you all know that AI is kind of a contentious spot in video games right now. Well, this one, on top of having an 11 out of 10 review from Grok, let's get some claps for Grok. People like Grok? Does anybody like Grok? Anyways, this proudly touts that it has fully AI-generated text and images. And it features other really progressive and fantastic features that are really cool and technologically impressive, like main menu, in-game menu, save, load, interactive visual novel. You know, it's funny because it's like, okay, what's in a visual novel? The visuals, you know, the novel. Why are they, like, bragging about the fact that it wasn't made by a person? Side note, how fucking bad would you need to be at making games to the point where saying you didn't have any part in it would actually be a selling point? Like, oh, yeah, did you hear about that new game from Autumn 22? Oh, yeah, the rest of the stuff he's made sucks, though. Oh, yeah, none of it's made by him, it's 100% AI. Oh, well, if none of it's made by him in that case, he's just publishing it, yeah, I'll check that out. Maybe it'll be good then. Like, what? I don't know. And there's this guy that I'm sure that I think has absolutely no resemblance to any current real-world political figures, and I'm sure is just completely, coincidental. Also, side note, they have you can see the window in these screenshots. They didn't even get full screen. Also, I think one of my favorite things is this game comes with some challenges. Easter egg challenge. How many Easter eggs appear in the game? Walkthrough challenge. Post a video of a complete walkthrough of the entire game. Steamy streamer challenge. Get all of the Hardcore Games products available on Steam and stream all of them. IRL ARG challenge. This game and some other Hardcore games are part of an alternate reality game in real life challenge. Be sure to check out all of our games for clues to the mystery. You might be thinking, oh, well, that's not that bad. They have fucking 101 of them. Now that's great, but Scrandle is where it's really at if you're looking for web-based entertainment. Okay, I'll admit, one thing that's eluded me for a long time is British cuisine, and this site is part of that. I see half of these and I'm convinced that this is some sort of massive in-joke a lot of the time, like mushy peas with mint sauce. That's baby food. That is baby food, you are not fooling me. Like, a majority of these look disgusting. Hot dog that looks like it's frozen, burger that looks like it's made out of plastic, a single pitifully small slice of pizza and a beer for $32 US. Fucking, I don't know, cheese coney on top of a slice of pizza, whatever. I guess this is what we're calling fine dining now. Keep in mind, those aren't necessarily British foods, like black pudding pies, peas and gravy. Literally anything with peas and gravy on top. Christ, they do have a lot of peas and gravy. Now, I won't lie, I'm quite interested in British culture. It's quite an interesting place. They have good television shows, fascinating history, and a lot of really, really, really interesting foods. You know what? Hold on. British food that's captivated my interest for the longest time is the chip buddy, so I think we're gonna set everything aside right now and make one of those. Now, I love looking up this meal because even all the images of it you find on Google still look like ass. Like, come on, man, this cannot be the top result. Most of these don't look great. But the great thing about them is that they're really simple to make. As the name would imply, it's a buddy, which is a British term for specific sandwiches with chips on it. Now, I'm quite hesitant to try foreign recipes out of fear of absolutely botching them and potentially ruin foreign relations, but the cool thing about the chip buddy is that I feel like it's almost tradition to make them with the most ass-crap ingredients possible. So you get your chips, preferably pre-packaged frozen ones at that, heat those bad boys up and put them on the most bland-looking white bread you can find. Buns or standard bread slices are the most common. And I know what you're thinking. There's no way that's it, that's just chips on bread. And you're right, because we need the sauce. You see, ketchup is common, but for authenticity, I'll be using salad cream. Salad cream is I don't really know what exactly to call it. It's a condiment popular in Great Britain, but not many other places, that's a little similar to mayo, but more flavorful and pourable. Vinegar, salt, pepper, eggs, whatever. Anyways, the uncultured swine at Walmart don't carry this, so we're gonna have to make our own. I found this recipe, which seems trustworthy enough and is currently sitting at a solid 5 stars. That's from one review, mind you, so all that it really means is that the one person that explicitly looked up a recipe for this condiment ended up liking said condiment. I really wish this camera was set up literally anywhere but here. I'll just literally just put everything in there and then cream it. All right. Egg yolks, 2 tablespoons. White vinegar. Huh. And this is gonna smell delicious, isn't it? 2 of these? Jesus Christ, tablespoon. Yeah, I'm reading that right. All right. I think some of that went onto the carpet. That's probably 2 tablespoons, right? Some seeds in there, that's fine. That's, all the ingredients. Wow, this smells something. Jesus Christ. Can I even fit this in? So, editor's note, I was really excited to make this until I learned what salad cream actually is. There are no words I can really think of to describe just how ungodly this smell was. You could leave this bottle in a room for 30 seconds and you'd need to let it air out for an hour and a half afterwards. It's genuinely awful. Every next hour, my fear of this condiment grew more and my hope for the dish diminished further. Oh boy, okay. As we can see, I've prepared the dish. It's bun was best by yesterday. We have the chips and the aforementioned salad cream. Ugh. That is awful, okay. It doesn't look appetizing either. Cannot stress how bad this smells. I'm just gonna do a fair amount. Put the bun on top. Oh my god. How do they fuck it up that bad? It's fries on bread. How do you make fries on bread? Taste that bad? That's a rhetorical question, because I know the answer is salad cream. It's fucking 50% vinegar and vegetable oil. It tastes worse than vinegar. It tastes worse than vegetable oil. Okay, well... Alright, more notes, because I feel like it. This was absolutely horrendous. Literally all you can taste is the salad cream. The closest thing I've ever tasted to it is like when you vomit without any food in your stomach and all that comes up is the regurgitated stomach acid. It's like normal chips. Also, yes, I'm calling them chips because this is a British food. I'm being polite even if this dish doesn't deserve it. But it's like chips on garbage white bread, which is already just making it worse, and then topped with baby vomit. I cannot think of a single dish that would be improved by this stuff, and I promise I'm not trying to be overly negative, it's just genuinely that bad. I think you're gonna need a lot more than a single pint to make that palatable, mate. Oh hey, I can actually use my phone again. What was I even gonna play? Whatever, we can check this thing out. You know, I actually had this one recommended to me by an acquaintance of mine during the creation of the November Next Fest video. I wanted to include it, but I ended up short on time and, fun fact, actually finished the last demo I had installed 30 minutes before the event ended and a majority of the demos were removed from sale. So that's kinda cool. While this demo stayed up, I'd been working on that video for a couple hours every day, and as my comment here notes, I'm actually saving that for the next demo showcase, as this already went on way too long, and the thought of spending at least another 3 hours working on the video in a single day made me feel physically unwell. However, I didn't want to wait until the next demo showcase video to premiere this, but spoiler, there is going to be another demo showcase video, so it slithered its way into here. I can't remember exactly what they described it as, but it was something like an immersive sim stealth game where you play as some sort of snake fish lady in latex that snaps people's necks with your thighs. I thought this was just them phrasing things in an interesting way to draw up attention. Nope. But yes, as for the game, in the demo there is one mission. It might not seem like much, but I got about an hour or so out of it just trying to beat it for the first time. A lot of this was me trying to sneak up around someone, then getting shot or stabbed. And it is incredibly easy to slip up in a minor way and suffer greatly for it, and calling it unforgiving would be an understatement. It acknowledges this, and even the main menu tells you that you are going to be dying a lot. As masochistic as this may sound, it actually adds a lot to the game. There's quite a fun and satisfying learning process of jumping in and getting a little bit farther each time, or at the very least gaining more knowledge for your next attempt. Whether it's a stash of weapons, where a certain key is, the locations of some good hiding spots, or where you can find more rats to eat. I'll also say that I really like the aesthetics. I think the protagonist's apartment in the garden place, I'm not exactly sure what it is, are the best examples of the game's art style. And I love how grimy the gas station looks, but it's a bit dry. The more detailed areas look fantastic, and it's honestly just fun to walk around. That also kind of leads me into my second point, which is that the sound design and the general game feel are fantastic. If you like games that just feel good, like the kind where walking down a corridor or grabbing a bottle off the floor is immensely satisfying, you will love this. You get the sounds of thrashing chain link fences as you climb on them, people heavily trudging through dry soil, the creaking of metal as you walk on corrugated roofs, the creaking of wood and shoddy interiors, the creaking of pipes as you hide on them. I never realized how much creaking there was in this, actually. The primary mechanics are also really fun to get a hang of. You can use your tail to fling yourself up to high surfaces or a bunch of different materials, or stun enemies with it before strangling them. And you can climb up certain walls into long ropes, or a lot of other things to find new routes or ambush spots. Sadly, this just isn't terribly present in the one level we see here. Sure, there are some spots you can climb up for ambushes, but nothing that felt too major. I'm assuming the rest of the levels are structured in different ways that allow for more usage of this. While, as far as I'm aware, you sadly can't create distractions by throwing things, you can eat ashtrays for health, drink alcohol for speed, I think, I'm not quite sure what it does. Peer through those empty bottles for a better view, or throw them in people's faces to stun them. Once your cover is blown, the combat is kinda clunky, but in a good way that I think benefits the game's mechanics as a whole. It's hard to take on multiple people at once, and this emphasizes staying hidden or using your unique skill set to find other ways to go about each encounter. Even if you're being more forceful, you can't really rely on weapons due to their highly limited ammo or the fact that all the bladed weapons seem to be made out of unhardened Play-Doh. This is really cool in my opinion. At no point do you ever get an assault rifle and the ability to mow down a dozen thugs. One enemy isn't too dangerous, but can alert the rest. 2 enemies is a puzzle of finding out how to separate them and take them out without the other one knowing, but 3 enemies is a situation where you try and kite them or just run away and hope they forget the half fish, half spider thing in a latex suit that just strangled 15 people to death so you can creep around some more. The enemies are dumb enough to sneak around and prey on, but not dumb enough to the point where you feel bad for sneaking around them like they're toddlers, or where you have to poke them with a stick to get some form of action going on. It's a good balance, and I'll admit that choking out one armed guard in the same room as another one behind some crates on a storage shelf in the middle of the room, or latching onto an overhanging pipe to hide from a patrol that knows you're there, or shoot someone from an insane angle like you're Leon the Professional, is a feeling that I don't think any other games I played recently have come even close to capturing. Keep in mind, there are a lot of other ways to do things as well. I know you can play stealthily and without neutralizing anyone, but as a novice, it felt like I was just trying to find the optimal way of isolating and strangling as many people as possible before having to use guns and blades. Which honestly sounds quite psychotic, but is a pretty good strategy, and I wouldn't recommend dissing it until you've tried it. Hell, I didn't even realize this person I kept killing for her key could have even been talked to until my 5th or so attempt. As a whole, it's really cool and filled with a bunch of fantastic moments that arise completely normally through the game's features. And above all else, it just has really interesting core mechanics that make it very fun to play. Yeah, it's rough around the edges and the control scheme and inventory mechanics might be somewhat annoying, but it's incredibly fresh and engaging. I don't really think it has mass appeal due to some clunkiness, but it's still very fun once you get past the learning curve, and it's also complemented by a very gratifying loop of repetition, exploration, execution, inevitable death, and the next, more well-informed attempt. If you're into elaborate stealth, finding your own way to get through challenges, managing minimal resources, or fantasize about getting your head crushed by someone's thighs, you'll probably have a good time with this. Let's talk to some people. Let's see who's here right now. I'm excited. I'm ready to party. Who's probably here right now? She's probably here right now. Yeah. Alright, this is gonna be nice. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. Once she picks up the call. And she answers. We can talk, you know, we can party. We're gonna party, right? Okay, I'm looking through all my contacts, and I've gone through most of them, but there's this one girl that I haven't talked to since January that I was kind of good friends with. So I'm thinking I'll call her, and we can see how that goes. Okay, fuck this. What other options do I have here? I guess I have one. I mocked you. I put you in the cage. I laughed at your expense. But in the end, you were there for me when I needed it most. What did I do to deserve this? What is even like a New Year's food? Pizza is a New Year's food, right? I still need to fix the cat. I'm not gonna be happy until the cat's here. My list of things to do explicitly said party, squiggly line, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. One person is not a party. We need the cat. This is not enough. It's okay. I've got all the time in the world. No, wait, no, I don't. I have like an hour and 49 minutes. Oh god, I don't have time. How do I fix this thing? No matter what I do, I can't get them to both work at the same time, so I just have an image of the other one. It's okay, Scrunkus. You're with us in spirit. Gifts. Oh yay, milk tablets. I got you this for Christmas! New Year's. You know, these toys are fun and all, but they can't distract me from the fact Scrunkus is gone. You, do something funny. Do something funny. Go over there. Do something funny. You know, there are a lot of times where I feel like I just don't get value out of anything I do. Where it all just feels kind of pointless. And I can just kind of sit here. And I know that the things I'm doing, I know that they have meaning to me because I've given them meaning. And I sit down and I think, if I hadn't put in the constant, persistent effort to convince myself that these things are what truly bring me joy, would I be doing them in the first place? I don't know, it's just, it's a strange feeling. I'm never sure if what I'm doing is worth it. But then when I don't do these things, I feel even worse. I'm never really sure what to do. I figured it'd get better. You know, I figured that something would change at some point, but it just, I don't know. It just doesn't, you know? Does that make sense? Because I've tried telling my therapist, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. But that's, you know, just, you know, right? It's just kind of what happens. Does that make sense? I guess we could move to the dessert part after that. I honestly just bought these for my Miku shrine, and yes, before you ask, it's normal. Everybody has one. Your friends just aren't telling you about it. Don't question it. I never really thought I'd eat them, but I guess it would be wasteful not to. So, like, I paid $10 for this. That was a discount price. I mean, I looked ahead, and it's pretty much just sugar and corn syrup. I really don't like candy of this type, honestly. This type of stuff feels like it's at least 10% plastic, and you know at least 2% of that is gonna end up as microplastics in your genitals, but I'll do it for Miku. Side note, how many of you have ever had the candy called Airheads? I don't know how many countries it's in, but like, it doesn't feel like something humans should be eating. And I know humans shouldn't really be eating anything made up primarily of sugar and corn syrup, but it's, like, edible, at least. Hold on, I might as well show you. You open it, and it's like a bar. A malleable bar. Like, it's kind of firm, and it looks like brightly colored plastic, and it feels like plastic, and you're supposed to eat it. Not just, like, chew it. You swallow it. This does not look like something humans should be ingesting. Oh, God. I can't eat this. I can't eat this. It's awful. I gotta go. I'm pretty sure the first time I ever tried one of these, I spat it up into a trash can somewhere because I thought it was like gum. If your candy feels unsafe enough to the point where a literal first grader, which kids love eating literally anything that looks colorful, spits it out, you have trouble. What this reminds me of is I was at a family gathering a while ago, and a nephew of mine was talking about how he swears pretty much every kid wanted to eat Play-Doh, and I was just kind of sitting back thinking like, okay, buddy. Alongside the fact that someone farted and I felt so sick after smelling it, I left half an hour before everyone else. Right, the candy. Jesus. Just get that garbage out of here. Now these, I also don't have high expectations for. Hatsune Miku Rainbow Melody Gummies, 7 ounces. Ingredients, wow, look at that. Sugar, glucose syrup, wheat flour. Sealed for my safety. Please don't tell me this is also gonna suck. I mean, this isn't like a collaboration with like an actual candy manufacturer. This is just like, I don't even know how the hell this came about, honestly. It really is. I've had these on my shelf for half a year. And the moment I eat one, they're gonna go back on the shelf. Oh, God, what? They smell like curdled milk! Oh my God, what? I was like, it's gummies, it can't be that bad. It is so pungent. It is the most pungent fake strawberry I've ever smelled in my entire life. It really does smell like curdled milk. It's that kind of sickly sweet of something that's gone over. Best by May 12th of next year. I don't want it to look bad when I put them away. Hold on. Oh, wait. I thought I got scissors. I was gonna cut these. Oh my God. That's so bad. It's so chewy. Oh my God, Miku, how could you do this to me? I need to spit this out, too! Editor's note, it certainly tastes like a melody if that melody was in B minor and made up primarily of tritones. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Autumn, a New Year's party without alcohol? Are you insane? Look, buddy, I am unstable enough, 100% sober. I accidentally stepped on a snail 2 months ago and I spent the rest of the day trying not to cry. There is no way in hell that I'd put something in me with the potential to make me even more volatile, paranoid, or sad. If I wanted those symptoms, I'd just play more Team Fortress 2. So we're going to be making some nice mocktails. I actually looked through a few of these ones that looked interesting, and the first one I was set on making I had to abandon because it included elderberry syrup, which I could only find online for upwards of $15, and come on, do I look like I'm made of money? I'm reviewing gummy candy and frozen fried potato sandwiches at my desk on the last day of the year because I have nothing better I could be doing. Give me a break. Okay, this better be good. Look at that. Is that even appearing? Looks like it's appearing. Look at this. Oh, it's beautiful. This is, I forgot what this is called. Look, it's got mango and it's mango, raspberry, ice, coconut water, lime. Never tried coconut water before. Hold on, wait, I'm gonna turn on party mode so this is less depressing. Ah, there we go. I'm sure that's picking up absolutely wonderfully on video. I mean, this cannot be bad. Maybe I just want to... Okay, wait. Going back to normal lighting. Increasing the brightness. Changing the color. Yeah, I have a cool lamp, by the way, huh? Thanks for noticing. That does look good. Do you still say bon appetit if it's a drink? Wait. Why is the drink made in... I don't know, I mean, I made it, but I mean, I'm thinking it's odd that it's half raspberry and then half mango. Why would you want to drink just one flavor, then just the other, instead of having all of them? Yeah, how do you... Are you still supposed to hold it like this? I'm not going to hold it like this. There's so much liquid in this. It smells absolutely delicious. Oh. Oh, God. It's so bitter. Jesus. Oh, my God. If you don't use your... Oh. Oh, my God. If you don't use your tongue and kind of do the technique where you block out the flavor of something, you don't really get the bitterness. Oh yeah, party mode. Well, I want to know what the mango tastes like. Oh God, I just swallowed a massive ice cube. Oh, massive more seeds. Ooh. Tastes a little bit like orange juice. Okay. This is like the largest part, so it's, gets thinner. Boy, these lights, this is gonna look fantastic sped up like 6 times, isn't it? Oh my God. Oh my God, I blended this thing on high for I don't even know how many minutes. Okay, well, it was probably like 1. But it felt like it should have been long enough. Why did I toss that? This feels like one of those things you should add sugar to. Do you do that in bartending? Is there like... Do you add sugar? One moment, I'm doing a cocktail review. Well, now someone's waiting for me. I don't... Whatever. Cheers. Okay. I can't... Okay. No, I can do this. There's no way people drink this shit. I'm assuming if you make them with alcohol, that, like, covers some of it up. That's... As far as I'm aware, the purpose of alcohol in general, it's just to cover things up, whether it's tastes or emotions. Why did I put the lime in? Why did I... I got to the mango! Where the fuck is my Ben & Jerry's? You know, it's funny, there wasn't even any alcohol in that, yet I still feel depressed after drinking it. Well, the last thing I have on here is, actually attending an event. I hope this goes better than last time. 2 years ago I did one of these and my microphone didn't even work and the only two people there were talking about buying hentai figurines the entire time. Say what you want about celebrating with the in-laws, but at least they don't make you sign terms of service. Oh, come on. I read through this already. Oh my god, I already agreed to all these, please. I already made the in-laws joke. I don't even have anything to say this time. Why the fuck am I so small? Oh. Maid cafe? This is just advertisements.
One.
Hey, Horgan? My friend keeps trying to eat me.
Hey, I'm here for the ball drop. Do you know when that is?
Yeah, it's in about like there.
Spider-Man doing it.
Can they do it any faster? I kind of have some things I need to do.
Oh my god, he like a sticker.
What?
He's a sticker.
Gonna see this,
I have to let you know ahead of time.
All right, here we go.
Not even if I ask really nicely?
We should.
This shit sucks. I thought I was gonna be watching fireworks. This is literally just city cleaning. They're just picking up confetti. I mean, at least the forklifts are cool. I think the beauty of the New Year and its celebrations are that it's an entirely fabricated thing. It's a new day like any other, just entering into another set of ordinary days, but it's our views around it that make it special. There's nothing that makes it different than last Thursday or the Thursday before that besides its numerical value, but we treat it as a time for reflection. We regard it as a place to set new goals, to promise ourselves that we'll do everything we can to fulfill ourselves. We memorize it, we give it value, we time things with it, we structure our biggest moments around it. In the same way things like Scrandle may not have any meaning outside of what I've given them here. And as funny as it sounds, making these dumb videos is the most content I've felt in years, so thank you for being a part of this. In the same way you've given me purpose by enabling this important part of my life, I hope you find your own things that make you feel whole this coming year. I hope you can find something that speaks to you, or that value you're looking for, even if you have to create it yourself. There's a moment I remember from my childhood where— oh my god! That scared me. Hi!
Autumn, why in the fuck are you calling me at 4 a.m.?
To party? It's New Year's. It's the New Year, for fun. We could play Scrandle or something. Talk about Wordle. Hello?